Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is Mary Cosby's feud with her family exposed, allegedly there is $6.3 million at stake, and let's find out what she got from her late grandmother. Is she really divorcing Robert Cosby Sr.? We will find out. So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It's a fun and easy way to support me and the show, and I really appreciate it. So with that, let's go. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says a new court document revealed more details into the past legal battle over the estate of Mary Cosby's late grandmother, Rosemary, which led to Mary's estrangement from her family. Last September, Mary, her husband Robert, and their church, Faith Temple, sued United Security Financial Inc., a for-profit business the church owned, as well as Sean Turner and Annie L. Johnson for alleged embezzlement. Sean and Annie were executives who apparently ran the church's finances. After Rosemary died in 1997, the money was passed to Mary's now husband, Robert, who was married to her grandmother. So yes, as we all know, Mary Cosby married her grandfather-in-law. Yikes. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star married him, and then on the show, Mary explained that her grandmother's empire included homes, churches, daycares, a mortgage company, and restaurants. Unfortunately, the family's dispute over Rosemary's estate led to Mary's estrangement from the family, including her mother. Yikes. Okay, even before this, Mary was like, oh, my grandmother said in her will that she wanted me to marry her husband. She wanted someone to take care of him and all this stuff. And then it turned out that will didn't really even exist. I'll just say alleged because y'all know these people like to sue people. But it's just bizarre to me. And I never bought that. Again, this is just my opinion on the situation. I think that Mary and her grandfather wanted to keep her grandmother's money. I think they wanted the homes, the properties, the businesses, and they married in order to gain control. And I think that is what ultimately led to her estrangement with her family. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe it's her family that's wrong. Maybe it's her family that is toxic and horrible and awful. And I'm not talking about her father. I'm talking about her mother and her mother's side of the family. Because I do believe Mary, when she said her father abandoned her, walked out the door and left. I believe that. So he's garbage, forget him. I'm talking about her mother and her mother's side of the family where all the money resides, or the alleged money, or the money that is now gone. Who knows? Because people can be estranged from their families for multiple reasons. Sometimes the problem is you're the toxic one, but the majority of the time the problem is them. A lot of people are estranged from their family because their family is dysfunctional and toxic. In this situation, I kind of think Mary and the grandfather got together for the money, and we kind of see that play out. There's allegations that Mary and the grandfather, her husband, are going to divorce. It's obvious they've been living separate lives. He's in Florida, she's in Utah. When he's home, he has his own wing of the house. She's at her own other wing of the house by himself. I think this was all for the money. Mary this season seems a lot lighter. Allegedly, the church is now defunct and closed. So who knows, maybe after getting all of these things out, because I think when you're a good person at your core and you've done some shady stuff, like some deeply shady stuff, that kind of eats away at you. Maybe she had some demons on her that have now been lifted. Who knows? Anyway, per the Salt Lake Tribune, the recent lawsuit accused Annie, Sean, and the USF of taking millions of dollars from the church and using it for personal purposes. On December 17th, the sued parties filed a motion for dismissal. Now, a month later, Mary and Robert opposed the motion by filing a memorandum in opposition. In the new filing, according to the Daily Mail, Mary referred to the past court battle brewing secretly for 27 years concerning her estranged family. In 1997, Mary's grandma Rosemary, died from heart failure. Afterward, Mary's mom, Rosalind, and her siblings, Pamela, Ernest, Deborah, Samuel, and Demetrius, were involved in a dispute over the estate. According to the filings, family members share that they've all been torn apart over the will. In January of 2022, Pamela wrote a letter asking the court to help settle the siblings' dispute. I mean, marrying her ex-husband might settle all that. I don't know. Kind of nuts. And don't forget, there was also questions about surrounding the death of the grandmother. Was that just natural causes? Did somebody help her over the edge? There was also, again, I was going to say alleged deaths, suspicious deaths surrounding Mary and her church. It's been called a cult. People have said that they've given her life savings, mortgages to the house. People have died. Like, there's just a lot going on that gives cult vibes. Okay. We have all been separated for over 20 years. Soon after our mother passed on January 4th, 1997, she said at the time, "Judge, I desperately want to get my whole family back together again. If we can find out the truth, our family can start to heal, to forgive, and to love each other once again." In 2021, Ernest wrote a letter telling the court that Mary stated on Watch What Happens Live that Rosemary Cosby left everything to her because she said in the will, "My mother, Dr. Rosemary Cosby, wanted her to have what she, Mary Cosby, didn't have growing up. We would like to see the will." In another letter, Ernest, who wanted answers concerning the will, told the court that he felt like his civil rights were violated, which he thinks is due to the negligence of Mary, Robert, Johnson, and others. According to the letter, he believes Johnson was attempting to steal the mortgage company, United Security. "I ask, where is the justice for me and my family?" he said. On January 21st, after Daily Mail asked for a comment, Ernest said his family never saw the will and claimed Johnson and Robert destroyed the will. "They took everything from us. We didn't get nothing," he added. "I don't blame Mary. I blame Robert Cosby because he's the one that got everything and stole everything from us." He also seemed to side with Mary over her battle with the church executives, accusing Johnson of being the biggest crook. She lied and she owned United Security and said she owned United Security. As for whether he's still looking for justice and a copy of Rosemary's will, Ernest said, "Well, I believe that fight's over with. Everybody's moved on with their life." In Mary and Robert's recent filing, they reacted to the defendant's claim that Johnson owns USF. Defendants claim that Faith Temple's claim for ownership of USF is somehow precluded is without support, said the plaintiffs. In addition, Ms. Johnson was acting as an agent of Faith Temple with respect to any bidding on a claimed ownership interest in the estate in USF. They also included a 2006 document from a special master which expressed that Johnson's testimony regarding the ownership claim was, quote, highly suspect. According to the document, after Rosemary's death, Robert inherited a 14K gold Boston link chain, a 14K gold ruby and diamond ring, and an 18K gold ruby and diamond cross, an Omega diamond watch, a pearl necklace with a diamond clasp, a fox jacket, and a throw full-length mink coat, and a mink jacket and throw. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. So yeah, and this also kind of explains why Meredith was like, Mary really needed to come back as a full-time snowflake. That's what she really wanted. And that's kind of why Mary has stepped up and kind of had her redemption season where she's participating with the women. She's opening up and she's sharing. Word on the street, her home is being foreclosed on. She's getting divorced from Robert Sr. Her son is in rehab or out of rehab, facing charges, not facing charges. That's a whole situation in and of itself. Side note, again, I think it's really great. And I thank her and her child for sharing about his, addictions and struggles and all of that. That could really help save somebody. So for that part, thank you for your transparency. But I do think a lot of it comes from the fact that, the money's gone. She's suing these church executives for stealing the church's money. Their home is allegedly in foreclosure. She needs the job. She needs the check. All of those things. I think Mary should pull a Jenna Lyons and have an estate sale. Open up your house, sell all your stuff. Clearly she's a hoarder. She has all the designer stuff and everything, this and that. So just go ahead, sell your stuff. Go ahead, sell your stuff, get some coins, and get out of foreclosure. So I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about the allegations that Mary and her husband basically stole the family fortune? What do you think about, them suing the executives? And this is why Mary really stepped up. And, what do you think of her this season? Are you watching? What are your thoughts? What do you think is coming up for next season? And what do you think about Mary still being in contact with Monica Garcia? That's why she defended Whitney. When Whitney came out and said she was in contact with Monica, because so is she. So with that, you guys, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.